Oh my word, look at this absolutely stunning home. And now all decked out for 4th of July and our 250th celebration this year. I love the brick sidewalk leading up to the front door, the stone steps. Hi, sweetie. Hi, sweetie. I saw you going after that chipmunk. I saw you. Look at how beautiful with the buntings, the seated lights on either side, and then that looks like a boxwood wreath on the front door with the flag. Really, really pretty. And then, of course, that incredible look of all of the snowbirds, those eagles that are on the roof. I'll get a closer view here in just a second. But come on, let's go on and check out the inside of this stunning reproduction. This is not a home that is all that old, but we'll go on inside and take a tour of this beautiful home that is wonderfully decorated in our prim early American high country style. I love the stone hitching posts here. Look at with Ohio on them. That beautiful stone cat. I think really these kind of elements like the stone steps and the brick sidewalk are what give it that feeling that you're coming up to a historic home. And again, lovely wreath with the flag inside. I'm not sure if I said hello, Prim friends. It's been a while since I've done a video. I'll explain a little bit more about that as I'm walking around, I think, but for right now, we are back at Tina and Clayton's gorgeous reproduction salt box home in Ohio. We're in Westfield Center. And this is actually a small neighborhood, couple of streets where the builder really focused on building these just stunning reproductions, or that's not even really a good word for it, I don't think. Going back to that really lovely early American look here in this neighborhood. I should just drive by and show you some of the other houses, but the trees are all leafed out now and you probably wouldn't see much. I was telling Tina I really like what her accent is here. We're going to focus a lot on the accents that she is using right now decorating for July 4th for our 250th anniversary of the birthday of our country. And this time she said she had some of the patriotic balls around the crock and she just changed it out, took those out and put that scarf like flag in instead, and then the sweet patriotic angel. And then these are faux. They look like a little wreath, greenery, and then of course our Ohio flags. And Ohio is special with regard to our state flag because it's the only one that is not shaped like a traditional flag. It is a pennant shape. Here are a couple of neat books and magazines that feature that look as well. And Tina, with all of the other things that are here in the house, she does try very much to be elegantly high country, not over the top. So you'll see elements here and there throughout the house, like the flags, like the eagle, like the flag pillow here, and we're going to go all through the house, even upstairs in the bedrooms as well. Boxwood, that was the word that wasn't coming to me this time. Here, these are so neat. My mom and I had made some similar to this on the old fence posts, gosh, probably 15 or 20 years ago, and they were so much fun. I'll have to see where mine is at right now. Here with all of this is always such a neat feature here with all of those little pottery inkwells. Huge collection of the treenware. So we'll come on into this room, this gorgeous wall of cabinetry. Tina was telling me that several of these she purchased from Gleaner Antiques. They are in Ashland, Ohio. And then this sampler print is from Bridget. It's one of her latest ones. So pretty there with the eagle. And Tina gets teased by me and others, I'm sure, that there's hardly any point in looking for spoons, the wooden spoons anymore, because it looks like Tina has them all. And then the basket there in the corner, filled with the flags. And then she transitioned this cabinet, instead of having all of the pewter this time, now she has the firkins and the storage containers, those buckets. It's nice with all of the wood, just gives a really nice warm look. And then up on the top, one of the things, if you've not seen our other videos here from Tina's house, you'll see she really has a way of balancing with her decorating. So in this case here, you have 3 on this side and 3 on this side. And you'll notice that throughout the house. My goodness, do we do the cage bar first? And the kitchen, the living room, this room? Let's go on in here first. So this is their beautiful family room. We have Ann Clay's relaxation video here on the screen. That's so neat. And then just a little hint here and there of the red, white, and blue. The flags and the coverlets on the back of the couches. Just not overdone, just enough to give you that hint. And these are neat over here. The little flag. And again, all of the balance. The cabinets on both sides of the couch. If I remember right, Tina said her very talented husband had built those. And that is a gorgeous mural on the wall. The artisan's name, if I remember right, her last name is Reese. And that was the name also, her husband was the one who actually had painted or built the home. Look at this really pretty little pine cabinet with George and Martha and Abe and Mary and a little hint of the pewter there. Beautiful shutters on all of the windows. Tina's husband had built all of those. And again, always the balance. You'll see all of those crock jugs over the top of that cabinet. Even the things in the cabinet, the spools and the mashers and then the spools and the mashers on the other side. Same with the lanterns. This household always, when I'm here, feels so peaceful. I think it's a lot to do with this balance. There is just this wonderful balance here. I like the carved eagle sitting on top of the whole stack of the firkins. And then Tina said this is a room that they use a lot. And she uses these pewters for coasters. So the porringers, if you're ever wondering, well, what should I do with that? Well, that's a great idea, is to use them as coasters. And then the last time I think we were here, I also noticed attaching some things to the old cabinets. You might only have so much wall space, but if you can also add something just tacked on the side of an old cupboard, that will give you so much more room as well to display. And here, this beautiful, beautiful living room. My goodness. The cabinets Tina's husband Clayton built. Look at this wonderful Abe Lincoln whirligig. And he is standing on top of a whole stack of the painted pantry boxes. And Tina is also a really big collector of these, what look like the spice boxes or the little apothecary boxes. You will see those featured in several places. So now, anytime you can find those or pick them up, they're not just for the kitchen. They can be used throughout in so many different ways of decorating. Here, another one of the, like the top of a post with those flags in them. And then with the beautiful upholstered furniture, something as simple as the coverlets over the back can make such a difference for the different seasons. Just a simple touch added for your decorating if you enjoy decorating for the various holidays. Get perhaps Miss Liberty here with the flag. And here an Uncle Sam. And again, the balance, the touches of the flags on each shelf with the pewter. And Tina made that beautiful cross stitch over the fireplace in 1989. Just gorgeous. And again, another one of those flags that are the real lightweight scarves. Just a nice accent. So pretty. Again, love the balance going up and down on top of that apothecary that, again, Clayton had built. Love that pillow. It looks like a punch needle on that one. There, another one, and yet another one. And even just a slight touch, there's something about the red geraniums that really add that little extra pop of color along with the red, white, and blue. Love that. Here we're in this beautiful front entrance. I love the tin lighting here in this house. And again, that beautiful basket filled with the faux red geraniums and the flag scarf draped over the back of the Windsor bench. And you'll see behind me here the windows over the top of the door, kind of a seated glass, and they are bullseye glass. They're specifically blown that way. Just a very traditional accent. And then this wonderful runner going up the stairs. And just something that you don't always think of, but putting a little table. This makes, to me, this feels very country inn, or maybe like a little hotel. The stairwell there with all of the shaker boxes and the whole wall filled with the samplers and sampler prints. Really, really pretty. And then this gorgeous landing, again, right here, with the shutters, the tin light. Just gorgeous. And then this room. My goodness. Who wouldn't love to just, oh gosh, curl up on that beautiful, just that absolutely gorgeous 4-poster bed. Lots of the samplers here. And the sampler prints. Some here made by Tina as well. She said that this doll here in the center on the bed was made by, oh gosh, now I forget the lady's first name. The last name is Dull, D-U-L-L. I absolutely love this room. Look at the bowl of the strawberries. Tina said that one of our prim friends on Facebook mentioned recently that there was something in the tradition or urban legend is to have one of the tomato pincushions on your fireplace mantle is supposed to be good luck. And I think she said that was Lynn Herbesty that had posted that recently. Shout out to Lynn. Look at all those wonderful little tiny strawberries. Look how tiny this one is and all the detail there. My goodness. I don't even think as big as my thumbnail. The whole bowl, trencher, filled with the darning tools. And Tina, a lot of the pieces that she has found over the years were from going to auctions with friends. Again, another huge bowl filled with strawberries. This room really has the antique and vintage sewing feel to it. Here, these are little beaded purses that are in that bowl, filled with all of the other little purses, little change holders, and these are beaded with the American flag. And then, of course, the wonderful Arnold printed cats. Here more. Some of the sweet handmade dolls. And so many more of the strawberries. What a beautiful accent on that cabinet door. Just every room, every detail, very special. Look at all the strawberries here. Just stunning. Here, another beautiful basket filled with special sewing pieces. I think this might have even been on an antique chatelaine at one point. The little silver container there. So many things to be looking for now when I'm out searching and hunting. I really need to remember to look in someone's sewing room. Perhaps they had their mom's sewing pieces in a little sewing box. So even if the box maybe is newer, I have to remember to look, because maybe there were some pieces that were from family members past that have been handed down. Look at this. This is such a neat vignette right here. The little child's high chair and the little basket filled with the prayer books. Really, really sweet. And then again, the small apothecary cabinet. This one's a little bit more unusual because it's 3 drawers across. I more often than not see them with 2 drawers across. And then again, even the fact that she is using the little steps to hold the spool cabinet, the little spool holder, and the strawberries. So very clever. Again, this room, just a little pop of the red with the white. Lovely accent. This is the room, she says, is Clayton's room. These wonderful dolls. Again, the one in the middle was made by that woman whose last name is Dull, D-U-L-L. And some here were made by her mom. I love the flame stitch in this sofa. And then, of course, the accent pictures. George Washington and Abe Lincoln give a wonderful patriotic touch as well. Such a beautiful room. All right, well, we'll go. This is so neat up here, just this really pretty landing room. And then here, this one, Tina said it was sort of more of her patriotic room. Again, some of the wonderful dolls. Lots of the red, white, and blue color. Again, the balance. The little spice box on this side. And again, followed up over there on that side. I like the little box, the little wall box here. We'll go over and check that out a little closer. This one, again, another one with the little change pockets. They are so charming. I think the reason I really like those is because they would have been so handled, so necessary, so carried with them everywhere they went. A lot like the kitchen crocks, not the real specialty ones, but the canner crocks. The ones, again, that would have been seen and used every single day in their homes. It's a gorgeous trunk sitting on top of this little dresser. And then that wonderful horse in front. Just a really, really pretty accent. And another of the little rocking horses. And then some of her mom's pincushions here on the shelves. Again, the balance, the baskets, and the crocks. Just love it. That wonderful Uncle Sam there at the bottom. And here more, another of the lady that made these. Again, last name Dull, D-U-L-L. I think she said that that woman was in Galion, Ohio, if I'm not mistaken. Pretty. And then I wanted to make sure to also show this whole basket filled with the strawberries, again made by another artisan that if you are on Facebook you may be able to find, Karen Martinson. Beautiful handmade strawberries. And then this beautiful dresser here on this side, again, just accented with some of the, I think these are considered Amish puzzle dolls, or puzzle balls rather. And then the Gettysburg Address above. The two cats and the shaker pantry boxes on either side. Love it. And another one of the little apothecaries. What's so neat is they don't have to be 200 or 250 years old. This house has a feeling of respect for that time period. Love this gorgeous trunk on feet with the grain painting here in front of the couch. So some antique pieces added here and there are just enough to give it that extra historic feel. Love the dolls at the foot of the bed as well. All right, well, we will go ahead and head downstairs through the back stairs. The doors, the trim work, they're not all the same. You can go from one section to the house to another, and that woodwork color is going to change. And then, of course, this beautiful table that Tina said Clayton had built for her. And this time, the table centerpiece is a reproduction of an early, looks like a Betsy Ross flag, the two punch tin lanterns, a lovely firkin, and then that huge, lovely bunch of the geraniums, the faux geraniums, and the flags. Just, my goodness, just perfectly billowy, tucked in here and there. Here, the stack of those little trunks that look like the apothecaries, the flags, the stuffed flags. Love the little Liberty pillow. And then again, this beautiful high back on that dry sink with all of those gorgeous wooden bowls and the breadboards behind. Look at those gorgeous carvings. And then the very top one featuring the clay marbles. What a great way to display those. Here, another of Bridget's sampler prints. Look how pretty. That lovely pattern on the sofa. Again, the Betsy Ross flag draped over the back. And this is just, look at with all that red ware, the brown and white transfer wear in the back. Gorgeous. Beautiful baskets on top. And then again, the spice boxes on either side of that cabinet. And all of those wonderful treenware pieces on top. Look at that collection of the wooden rolling pins. My goodness. And the little jugs. The sheep. What neat. I think those are pictures. Those are wonderful. And then the whole ceiling has a wonderful collection of baskets. And then even here on this narrow cabinet above the dry sink, it has the pewter pieces. And then again, of course, George Washington and Abe Lincoln. And then above, a whole set of different butter presses. Really, really well done. We'll go on into the kitchen and then finish off with the cage bar. So if you like this style of decorating, I hope that you will hit like and subscribe if you haven't already. One of the very best things that you can do for our little channel is just post on your social media. Tell them to turn on the Cape on the Corner on YouTube. So I said I might kind of mention where I've been here lately. So I know I had mentioned that my uncle had passed away in Germany early this year. Well, my mom and I, and now my sons, are really the only heirs, the only family that he had left. And we are in the United States. Well, we found out from the person from the German government who was appointed to take over his estate that as he finally got the keys and went into my uncle's apartment, the apartment had been robbed, cleaned out. My uncle's extensive coin collection was gone. And the way the German estate planning or the estate inheritance works, it's if you inherit both the assets and the debt instantaneously. And that works even if you are an heir in the United States. Well, with my uncle's collection being gone, that was what he invested in over many, many, many years. He collected since he was a very young man. A boy, actually, he started collecting. And at that point, if you inherit both the assets and the debt, and the German government was going to be having to have a person appointed and assigned to handle my uncle's estate. The apartment is still empty and rent is accumulating. It's just a very different system over there. So you have the option that you can do this in Germany or you can do this here, wherever you are overseas. Within 6 months, you have to file a revocation of your inheritance. You're basically saying, thanks anyway, I pass. And so I've had to go through locating the documents. We visited the German mission in Cleveland last week to have our signatures certified, because just being notarized doesn't count in a German court. And so for the pleasure of having that done was $70 for each of us to have our signatures basically notarized by the German mission. And now we will be sending those documents to the German probate court to say, thanks anyway. We choose not to inherit. Because in all of my reading, and I know you're going to say, well, this just sounds bizarre, can't possibly be, but it is. If the debts, meaning his apartment rental, let's say it's already at 9 months, 9 months of apartment rental, plus utilities, plus emptying and cleaning the apartment, plus the court costs, plus the cost for the person who has been appointed to handle the estate. If all of those things are more than what my uncle had in assets, well, his apartment was robbed and emptied, other than his furniture, that could very likely be the case. Now, of course, I ask the questions, how is that even possible? How is that even possible in this country that we allow this? And apparently these are part of old treaties between the United States and all of these European governments. And they still stand today. So, something to think about. I know sometimes there's, the little joke, oh my gosh, couldn't an uncle that I don't know pass away in Europe and leave me a fortune? Well, you might think twice about that. But I wonder, I've not ever heard of this before. I had no idea until we were faced with it. And I wonder if any of you out there have ever heard of this as well. Because it just seems impossible. But it is the way it is. Isn't this cabinet gorgeous? So that has kept me very, very busy, making sure that I have been able to protect our assets, my children, who would be the next heirs, and they go down several generations. I received an email by the court worker in Germany that said, not only does your mom need to sign that paperwork, but so do her children and so do her grandchildren. At $70 a pop, that's fun, right? Here, another beautiful one of the sampler prints from Bridget as well. Look at this gorgeous mantle. And all of those neat pewter pieces over the fireplace. And finishing off with Uncle Sam right there in the center. So There are more videos coming. I have another home that I'm going to be touring, perhaps even next week. An antique shop that I have not been to before, I will be bringing you to as well. And lots more videos coming. This has kind of preoccupied me for a bit, as you can well understand. Love this little Betty lamp right here. So again, hit share and tell your friends about the Cape on the Corner. Take care. We will see you very soon in the next video.